Good morning. And welcome to Landria Anca on YouTube. I am here to help you break through those fears and go after and live that awesome life. I'm going to give you some thought-provoking videos, maybe a few tools, maybe a few exercises, some meditations. I'm going to start shooting some meditations to help you get from where you are to where you want to be. And it really is here, right now. It's not in some distant place. It's not something that has to be created. It already exists. So I want to do this video. I want to talk about coming from your heart. Everything you do should come from your heart. How many times do you go through the day and you make decisions based on what society says, what authorities say, what is supposed to be the right thing to do, and your heart and your gut doesn't agree with that? 100% of the time, that will never play out in the most positive way. 100% of the time. When you come from your heart and your gut, 100% of the time, it's going to take you to a higher place. 100% of the time. Even if the results aren't what you wanted, there's going to be something powerful that comes from that, because your heart, your gut told you you need to do something, told you you need to say something or not say something, told you that you need to quit a job and go do something else, even though it seems really wrong out here in this structured society, which is, by the way, falling apart daily. Daily, I watch it. If you guys see these ads at the end of my, actually I'm going to put them up the whole time. You're going to see stuff come out here and down here. I'm going to give you a chance to sign up for a free video series on how to learn how to use the internet to create a business, even if you don't have products or services. I'm telling you right now, technology and artificial intelligence, let's not even go there, you know, whether that's good or bad at what point. Right now, we're in control. Technology is absolutely ruling, and that's a positive thing. It's the people that don't use it to progress that are finding it to be a negative thing. We're being replaced by robots. Yes, great. Get those people out of those plants and get them in their homes and on computers or whatever way they can to reach global markets and earn a living without being in danger. You know, law enforcement, all these things, we can use technology for very positive things. That's true of everything. You can, electricity can kill you or light cities, right? You decide how you use everything around you. And a lot of times we're so afraid of that change, that shift in society that's happening big right now. Huge changes. We hang on to tradition because it's what we know. And we're so afraid of the unknown, which is not really so unknown, by the way. Once you learn stuff, it's not unknown anymore. When did we stop learning things, right? Who made those rules up? Oh, I'm in my 50s. Yeah? What's your point? Probably even going to be a better student because now you've been there, done that. So when you're going from your heart and saying, you know what? Everything else is telling me I shouldn't do that. Everything else is telling me I shouldn't quit my job and go try this. But my heart tells me that's really what I want. My heart tells me that I can't die having worked 30 years in a cubicle or an office doing something I didn't feel good about. Hey, listen, you want to know what it feels like to be doing stuff that you don't feel great about? Get into finance. Woo-hoo! A lot of stuff going on there. Now, I worked on a lot of projects. We were doing some really awesome stuff. I was in private equity. That means we were just basically funding private business owners to create awesome companies. And I made decisions to work on projects that I believed in that were positive. Never anything that I felt was negative or that would bring harm to society. So no matter what position you're in, you can still make positive, good decisions. And I had to come from my heart, because society says, Landria, if you do that gambling or that porn deal, you could make a ton of money. Are you crazy? Yeah, crazy like a fox. And I'm like, I can't do it. I cannot contribute to the world in that way. I'm going to have to focus on these awesome entertainment deals where, you know, we have wonderful events going on that people and families enjoy. You can make these decisions every day, but it has to come from your heart. So let's say you're a salesperson and you say, you don't understand, I have to go out and really, you know, sell stuff, and maybe you're not really feeling like what you're saying is true. So a lot of people come on to my internet training because they know I'm telling the truth. Whether you believe this stuff or not, and by the way, the people that don't have never done it, have never joined or even know what we're talking about, or even really done their homework. I'm sorry, I'm speaking from my heart, and my intentions are 100% good, and they're changing people's lives. And that's why I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and I do so well at it, because I genuinely believe in it, and I'm honest about it. Some of this is difficult. It's like going back to school. Some of this is tough stuff to learn, but you get past it and you master it, and guess what? You get to change your life. What are you doing out there that maybe if you're not feeling really good about, how can you change it? If your heart's telling you, I don't really want to sell this financial portfolio or whatever it is. I know my company tells me I need to do this, but my gut tells me that this is not going to be good for my client. Or selling an item that you know is not good for society, like maybe, you know, gaming that's, you know, violent. You know, little kids are going to watch and use that stuff and learn how to kill and steal and do all these things online. Do you know that that is wiring? Tony Robbins, how do you think he trains those athletes? He has them visualize it over and over again, and they become just as effective as if they did it physically, that shot over and over again. So what do you think happens when your kids or yourself is exposed to negative, violent stuff? Well, here's the question. Who's on the other end of that? Who's putting that stuff out? I'm hoping that you aren't participating in that. If you are, that's a big block to you really living an awesome life. You have to start taking responsibility if you want your life to go to the next dimension. If you want your spirit, your energy to go to the next dimension, you have to take responsibility in every area of your life, and your heart knows what that is. We have to face it and say, the truth is, I'm not feeling good about that. I'm not feeling good about what I'm selling, or what I'm having to do every day for a living, or being in a relationship that I'm not really feeling good about, and I'm not being honest with that person. Or whatever else it is you're doing that you need to just step away from. Maybe it could even be going into a church and feeling like you're not connecting it to anymore, and that's not authentic. And it's not a bad thing. A lot of people are leaving churches. Why? Because there are rules that they no longer connect to. And that will push the churches to open up more, to be more open and loving and giving to everyone. And put the rules down about this is how life has to be or whatever. That's going to start to change. It already is. People are starting to go to more open-minded, welcoming communities because we don't want rules anymore. We want to just be ourselves, our loving, beautiful selves, and come from our hearts. And sometimes that can look a little wacky. You know, I was in meditation for a week at a Joe Dispenza event, advanced workshop. People were doing some wacky stuff in there, screaming and body movements and and laughing, just doing crazy, jumping up and down. And you know what? Everybody in the room, we welcomed it. We laughed. We said, okay, that's a little wild, but you know, there was no judgment in a negative way that was, you know, imposing that restriction that we feel outside of that room that says, oh, don't you dare laugh too loud. Oh, I'm bad at that. I'm bad at that. Or don't jump up and down and scream if you're happy. Or, throw out your arms and say hallelujah. We have to go into a church or a confined area. And if your heart wants to connect and do something, you're going to have to start going with it. Because that's how we change. That's how we'll change the world. When everybody says, you know what? Everybody's starting to do that now. They're opening up their heart. I think it's okay. It's okay for me to do that. And maybe you're the leader. Not easy to be a trailblazer. Ask me. Whew. Not easy. And sometimes you get a resistance, and other times people go, oh, thank you. I wanted to say that. Come from a kind place. I have a very bold personality, and people can misinterpret that sometimes, not very often. I think you guys get me. You know that I'm passionate, and I want you to be all that you are, because I know that's what you're seeking. I know that's what you want. I know you're capable of it, and I know you can do that right now. Not down the road. You can do it right now. You can say, oh my God. Oh my God. I'm a perfect light being. What's all this other stuff? This is created stories, and of course the society around will still function that way. This is the challenge. Steve, people are still going to be caught in that density and stuff. Don't judge that. Don't judge that. Because if you're judging it, you're not in the awakened state. Awakened state is letting the judgment go. Letting them, I'm here and I'm spiritual. Oh my God, if I hear that. We're spiritual people. Really? What's everybody else? Crap? No, they're beautiful light beings. Maybe they don't think the way you do. They may be more awakened than you, because if you're sitting there telling people that you're spiritual and that we're spiritual and they're something else, you haven't learned a darn thing. Better look at yourself and say, you know what? I'm not anything. I'm just perfect and whole and powerful and strong and loving and harmonious and happy and all those wonderful things. That's what you are. That's it. Quit looking for everything else. I need to know this. I need these answers. No, you don't. You'll get it on the other side. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? At some point you will. We'll all get it at some point. Because we're all going to go back to the one. That might be boring. I was thinking about that. So what if we go back to the one and we go, wow, we were like on some awesome roller coaster ride. And you know how like when you go through something that's like really traumatic and you get out of it and you're in a really great place and you look back and go, woo-wee, that was awesome. Now, yes, at the time you were in like extreme pain and but then you have this ultimate result and you look back and you go, oh, wow, what an experience that was. Oh my God, if I hadn't gone through all of that, all those challenges, I would have never enjoyed that end result quite the same. We did it. We got through. Oh my God, and we're going to be in that beautiful, perfect place all the time and go, I sort of miss that. I sort of miss those challenges. Maybe we don't have to go to that super dark side, but there was something beautiful about death. Knowing that the experience will change. Knowing that we have a limited amount of time here. Knowing that we have certain relationships we get to develop here with each other. How awesome is that? And that when we come back in another life or whatever else we do over there, there'll be other relationships. But right now, here, we have this. And this house, and this city, and this weather, and these circumstances. It's pretty interesting, cool stuff, isn't it? And your heart tells you, I need to make a change now. Maybe I need to move to another city, or maybe I need to change relationships and release this person and say, I love you, but like my friend did recently. But this isn't right. I want the best for you. It's okay. It's okay. My heart's telling me we need to go seek something different that's going to help us progress to where we need to be. Your heart is always talking to you. Always. Your brain is just spewing back stuff. Your mind is whatever you want it to be. But your heart will always speak the truth. Come from that, and I promise you, your experience in life will be an awesome one. Why? Because no matter what you go through, it will always feel right and good, and your gateways will open, and you'll get the support from your guides and all of that beautiful energy that's surrounding you that will support you when you ask for it, never will interfere with your free will, and you say, I'm ready. I'm ready for positive, beautiful things. And sometimes that's going to be a path that maybe I would not have originally chosen, and then you go down that path and you go, oh wow, this isn't the mansion, but what I'm experiencing is so awesome and beautiful, and my heart feels good. And maybe you're in the mansion and you go, ugh, this is it? This is so one-dimensional. This didn't make me happy. Well, by the way, you can be in the mansion and do good things and have an open heart. But it has to all come from that good, positive place. I'm putting together a really awesome course for you guys. And it's taken me a long time because I'm really making sure that we hit all of these points. And I'm going to take you through. It's either going to be a 4, maybe 6, possibly an 8-week course. Really work on all that with you. So, go with your heart. Go with your heart. Really sit with it. Sit with it. You know when something's right or not. No matter how scary it is, if your heart says you need to go, you need to do this. You need to try it. What do you have to lose? It's just an experience here. Sending you light, love, health, wealth, prosperity, abundance, joy. Namaste.